Hey, welcome to Perceptualware. Just a quick update because I'm effectively building in public. As you may have seen, Harley is now called ANELI. So there's been a name change, which I updated. I've added a new mode to ANELI. So first one is just, I want to break down these components of empathy, and of course you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever LLM of choice that you want to do, but they tend to be pretty generic and not really the skill set of empathy that they really could be. So, that's how I've designed ANELI. She will be empathetic, and just the ability to listen, not correct you, not do any of that stuff that humans normally do when you tell them your problems. So just understand what good empathy looks like. So that's the first mode that I went live with ANELI. I've introduced a second mode, and what the second mode is about is really understanding what you feel. So often, and I can remember in my early days, or even for a few years ago, I didn't understand what I was feeling. So especially as a guy, there's a background hum of thoughts and feelings. I just really had difficulty accessing my emotions until they sort of all blew up or became something else, or I got overwhelmed. Overwhelm was probably the biggest feature here. I wouldn't really know. I could identify, well, I'm happy or sad or angry or not, angry or mad, but that was probably it. Sad, sure, but it's pretty limited. What I've learned is that you can actually feel a whole lot of set of things, right? And it's actually important to actually know what that is. So it's a skill, knowing what you feel, knowing what you think. And so I've created a new mode, understand me. So, put in your shitty day and allow ANELI to actually come back to you first, obviously understanding, but also, suggesting some of the background thoughts sitting behind this and probably the emotions that these thoughts will trigger. Understand that, right? You feel the way you think, right? So understand the types of thoughts that might be implied or implicit in the actual your thinking. You need to understand that too, by the way, so you can have a baseline set of assumptions and your thinking is on top of that, right? So it's hard to think logically when you've got all these underlying shoulds or assumptions or that sort of thing. So this is really just about understanding what you think and feel, and then the connection of those to your values, right? This is a critical piece of information, just understanding that relationship and be able to map, your shitty day to a set of thoughts, to how you feel, and then you're probably holding on to those feelings because of the values and what they say about you that's positive and awesome. Because so often we tend to shame them or shove them in the basement. So we feel shame about how we feel, right? So these are signals being produced, and we do all sorts of things to them to get rid of them because they're uncomfortable and they cause discomfort. And so this is about understanding. And so mode number 2, please, understand myself, is really allowing you to put in a situation and work through with ANELI to actually break up and explain what you could be thinking and feeling about it, and the potential value sitting behind that situation for you. And that's it. Chris out.